It's personal between me and you, and I'm going to do you some serious harm, you big stiff idiot.
The Untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing games are missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Alright, so I wanted to discuss this video because this video has been long overdue, and the credit for me making this video has to go out to longtime viewer and one of my most loyal viewers, David Esther, because every live, it doesn't matter what I'm talking about. If I'm talking about heavyweights, he mentions this guy. If I'm talking about flyweights, he mentions this guy. If I'm talking about Russians, I'm talking about black fighters. If I'm talking about freaking anything I'm talking about in boxing, David Esther has been on me to talk about this fighter. So this video goes out to him when he sees this. So this video, as you guys can see by the title, is about Mexican super featherweight contender, none other than Los Mochis, Sinaloa, Mexico's very own Eduardo Sugar Nunez. Yes, very interesting fighter. 25-1, 25 knockouts. He's a straight power puncher. Has a sledgehammer in his right hand. Let's talk about him because, and I'll do a separate video because he's supposed to fight Shavkat Rakimov in an IBF eliminator to determine who will be Joe Cordina's mandatory challenger. He has to go to Tajikistan for that fight, so that'll be a separate video all on its own. But I kind of wanted to just get Eduardo Sugar Nunez in the True School Sports rotation because I never talked about him before. Now, interesting fighter because this is a guy that when you take a look and you check under the hood of like what his career has been so far, I think his career arc and the way his career has been it's very similar to another Mexican fighter who just lost in his bid to become world champion in Eduardo Rocky Hernandez. They're two very similar fighters in the sense that they had one loss going into like their big fight, but all their wins were straight knockouts. You know, we know that Mexico produces those pressure power punching fighters like it's nothing. Like it's like a factory for pressure knockout artists, right? And he's no different. Okay, so that being said, let's talk about his career because you know the only setback he had in his career thus far was when he fought, and it was a 6-round decision in 2018 on ESPN against Hiram Gallardo. And you know, I haven't had a chance to watch the full fight yet. I watched like a round or two, but the consensus seems to be that Eduardo Sugar Nunez may have gotten screwed on the cards. So I gotta watch the whole fight for myself. I'm like halfway through it. But other than that, everybody he's fought, he's put in a straight blender and a body bag. In 2021, he was scheduled to fight fellow Mexican knockout artist Jonathan Aguilar on a Roy Jones Jr. card. That fight fell through. And, you know, probably the most notable name he's fought on his resume to date is former world title challenger and Gary Russell Jr. opponent Oscar Escandón, in which he put him in a straight body bag as he knocked him out in 2 rounds. He's fought on a whole string of DAZN cards in Mexico, Matchroom Mexico cards, and he's been showcasing his skills and his knockout talent in a very major way. Every knockout he's had, the Escandón knockout, the Martin Ceja knockout, you know, big time knockouts, early stoppages, making a real big impression in the super featherweight division, right? So as far as Nunez is concerned, he's expressed his desire, right? Because you know, he's in a great position. If you look at the rankings right now as it stands, let me pull it up right quick. Right now as it stands, Eduardo Sugar Nunez is he's number 4 in the IBF rankings, but he's really in the de facto sense the number 2 rank contender because the number 1 and number 2 slots are vacant in the sanctioning body. Number 3 is Rakimov, who he's fighting, right? So he's really the number 2 contender in the IBF. He wins this fight. He's looking at potentially fighting Joe Cordina next, which, you know, I'm very intrigued to see what Joe Cordina is going to do because if Joe Cordina didn't want to fight Oshaki Foster because of money, why on God's green earth would he want to fight Eduardo Sugar Nunez, who nobody knows about yet, who's still a relative unknown and will probably remain a relative unknown even with the Rakimov fight because the Rakimov fight is not going to be a big mainstream fight. So, you know, I'm very intrigued to see how Joe Cordina handles that. But he's ranked number 4 in the IBF, number 8 in the WBO, right? So there is a pathway for Eduardo Sugar Nunez. If he keeps doing what he's doing, it may be a long shot, but there could be a big Mexican world title matchup between him and Vaquero Navarrete. And I got to tell you this, man. When I look at the matchups at 130, there's so many great, interesting matchups at 130. But I would definitely say Of the potential available matchups, I think Eduardo Sugar Nunez versus Vaquero Navarrete would have to be amongst, you know, some of the top matchups in the division, just because, you know, you get two Mexicans in the ring. You know, Navarrete is one of them guys that breaks all the rules, does everything wrong, but you know, fights the fight that works for him, does it in such an effective way that works for him, right? But I don't know if he'd be able to take too many of those sledgehammer right hands from Eduardo Sugar Nunez. You know, he's coming to you live and direct from Los Mochis, Sinaloa, Mexico, and we know Los Mochis, Sinaloa, Mexico is a grimy area, and they produce some really dangerous fighters over the years. So I think that could be an attractive fight for the future. Obviously, he's expressed a desire as well to fight his other countryman who lost to Oshaki Foster, Eduardo Rocky Hernandez, who I think has a similar record in the sense where all of his wins have been knockout victories. They both big power punchers. That's another attractive matchup. Oshaki Foster be great. You know, obviously Oshaki has to get through his whole matchup with Abraham Nova, and that's not necessarily a gimme for Oshaki, but that would be very, very interesting to see what he could do in a fight like that. So there's definitely a lot of great fights in the weight class for, you know, Eduardo Sugar Nunez, but I wanted to get in the rotation because he's been getting a lot of big knockout victories. He's right on the cusp. He's right on the precipice of getting a world title shot in a major fight, and he's definitely worth our time and worth our attention. And he's an exciting fighter, another exciting, hard-hitting Mexican fighter. We'll see how he looks when he fights guys who have more defense, more dimension to their game. But so far, so good. So far, for the most part, other than that one setback in 2018, it's just been straight demolition jobs for the Los Mochis natives. So yeah, that's my take on Eduardo Sugar Nunez. I want to get your guys' take it down below. What do you guys think about him? And I guess his upcoming fight with Shavkat Rakimov. I'll make a separate video on that. But leave your comments down below. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me. But I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys. Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. For more great boxing content just like this video, click right here and make sure you subscribe. Much love from sunny South Florida.